So I once again believe that those who are here have this MEG 2 as their subject. I hope that all of you are from English MA first year.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Before we
Yes, sir.
begin talking about the MEG2 course properly, let me request you one or two things. One is that के मैं बहुत humbly आपसे ये request कर रहा हूँ कि in between जब हम लोग बात कर रहे होंगे तो आप बिल्कुल बीच में मत रोकिएगा या टोकिएगा. We will take up your queries or questions or doubts at the end of the session. We will surely have a 10 minutes time for our doubts or queries, but I very humbly request you all not to stop or not to interrupt in between. So this is a request. Another is that uh, please keep yourself muted so that के हमारे जितने साथी ज्वाइन किए हैं सबको किसी को प्रॉब्लम ना हो. You may keep your video on. We have no objection. I personally have no objection. But मुझे जहां तक इंटरनेट की जानकारी है, डेटा अगर बचाना है तो ऑडियो वीडियो, खास करके वीडियो का इस्तेमाल जितना कम किया जाए, डेटा उतना सेव्ड रहता है, बचता है. So if in case there is a question of data saving, my humble suggestion, it is a suggestion, it is not at all a request, not at all a command. It is up to your will. If you wish to keep your video open, you can. I have no objections, right? So dear friends, uh, no, I cannot say in English only. I will say in a combined language, right? So I was saying कि ये जो MEG course है, it is for the students of MA English first year, and as I said earlier, I am repeating, it is a compulsory course. जब आप semester 2 में, that is PG2 में, when you will move to your PG2, यानी PG second year, then you will have a few optional courses also. But as far as MEG2 is concerned, it's a compulsory course. I hope that you have seen the study materials, and I hope that you know के study material. अच्छा, there is one more request. मैंने देखा है, because we are associated with IGNOU for quite a long time. I request all those who are present here that do not share your phone numbers in the chat box. It has been misused continuously. We are getting reports and complaints of spamming. So do not share your phone numbers in the name of any WhatsApp group or anything else. We are not responsible for that. प्रीति कुमारी, अपना ऑडियो ऑफ कर लीजिए प्लीज. So I was saying that our MEG2 course consists of several blocks, 9 blocks if I'm not wrong. And I would like to clarify at the very outset, मैं यहीं पे आपको बता दूं कि we will be having 6 classes only from today. For the next continuous 6 days, we will be having 6 classes of 1.5 hours each. Number 2, I would like to clarify that I am not a teacher here. I am a teacher in my college, I am a teacher in my classroom, but I am not a teacher here. I am a counselor here. It is not a teaching class, and no teaching learning will be done here in this class. It is purely a counseling class. So teacher in IGNOU is not a teacher, he is a counselor. And a class in IGNOU is not a teaching learning class, it is a counseling class. I hope that you know the meaning of these two words. Who is a counselor? One who counsels, one who can give suggestions, one who can give advices is a counselor, right? And a counseling class is not meant for teaching. A counseling class is meant for counseling, in which only counseling related to that particular subject, only suggestions and ideas and way outs related to that particular subject will be given. The third thing is, or rather the next thing is, कि मैं ये भी बहुत क्लैरिफाई कर दूं at the very outset कि it is not practically possible to cover up or to cover all those 9 blocks in 6 classes of 1.5 hours. I'll try to take up as much blocks as possible, but my emphasis will be more on to tell you the skills that how to approach this paper. Instead of teaching anything, my approach will be very plain and simple. Okay, how you should approach, how you should prepare this particular paper, and say, for example, all those 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks, number of blocks that we will be able to cover up. MEG2 is about drama. It is British drama. So before I begin with the first block, which is based on a particular text named Dr. Faustus, that I will do not necessarily today, but in the next class. आज मैं आपके साथ I wish to discuss something about the technicalities that how a student of literature is expected to do and what a student of literature is expected to do when he or she is covering or when he or she is studying the paper or any paper on drama. तो मेरा जो emphasis होगा वो ये होगा कि कोई भी स्टूडेंट जब ड्रामा का पेपर अटेम्प्ट कर रहा है, so whenever a student is attempting a paper on drama or a text or a text of any play, how he or she should look at that play, that text. So this will be my this will be my emphasis, this will be my approach. Instead of कि मैं आपको ड्रामे पढ़ाऊं, ड्रामे आपको कहीं भी यूट्यूब लेक्चर्स में मिल जाएंगे, यू कैन गेट बेटर रिसोर्सेज फ्रॉम द इंटरनेट. सो आई रिपीट इट वंस अगेन दैट माय एम्फेसिस विल बी के हाउ अ स्टूडेंट शुड अप्रोच द ड्रामा and how a student should approach a particular text of a play, right? So believing that most of the students in MA English IGNU are not from literature background, this is what I know from my associations with IGNU till from 1997 कि most of the students जो IGNU में admission लेते हैं MA English में, उनका literature का background नहीं होता है. So at the very outset, yes, I also believe that because I can see that there are a few students जिनको मैं personally जानता हूं जो मेरे students रहे हैं, वो यहाँ पे दिख रहे हैं. तो there can be a few students, those who have done BA English honors from any college, etc. But most of the time, this is my understanding that most of the students of MA English in IGNU are having a non-literature background. So ऐसे तमाम students को मैं सबसे पहले ये request कर लूं कि वो उनके लिए ये जरूरी होगा कि वो अपने अंदर अपने यहाँ they should try to inculcate a sense of literature first. They should try to inculcate an understanding of literature first. They should make themselves aware about the technicalities of literature. They should make themselves aware about the elements of literature. They should make themselves aware about the what you can say, the characteristics of literature. They should make themselves aware about the requirements, the demands जो कि literature एक subject के रूप में seek करता है, solicit करता है from the student of literature. So you have to do your seasoning. You have to do your weathering, if you know these words, right? So ये आपको करना होगा. नाउ विथ रेफरेंस टू, मैं ज्यादा भाषण ना करके मैं इस पे आऊं कि इस पेपर में आपको क्या करना होगा, मैं इसी की बात करूं सिर्फ. द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू डू इज टू अंडरस्टैंड ड्रामा एज अ फॉर्म. I'm not here, as I said, I'm not here to teach you, but this is what is needed. So that is why I'm trying to suggest you, my dear friends, कि ड्रामे को एक विधा के रूप में, as a craft of literature, as a genre of literature, what I call genre, Genre. Some people call it genre also, and that is also not correct. That is also not incorrect. But anyways, so you need to understand drama as a form. कि उसका उसकी what are the technicalities associated with drama, what are the elements that are associated with drama, what are the characteristics that are associated with drama. Say for example, since we are studying his British drama, so ultimately this must be having some kind of history, because every literature has its history. Every literature is rooted in its times, right? And if every literature is rooted in its time, it certainly has a history, right? So as a student, we need to understand this, that when we are studying literature or any form of literature, say for example, drama here, we have to know the theoretical aspect of drama. What is drama? What are the characteristics of drama? What are the major types of drama? What are the requirements of drama? How drama is different from poetry? How drama is different from prose? Right? Because you know that largely एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि लिटरेचर कैन बी डिवाइडेड इनटू टू पार्ट्स, प्रोज एंड पोएट्री, गद एंड पद, राइट? प्रोज एंड पोएट्री, इन दीज टू पार्ट्स ड्रामा कैन बी डिवाइडेड. मैं यहाँ पे एक आई वुड लाइक टू मेक एन एडिशन दैट नो, literature is divided into three categories. Drama is a separate category. It is neither poetry, it is nor prose. It is an independent category, right? Yeah, I also request that videos basically distract karte hain. So I also request, and I also support this request made by some student, that videos basically they distract the attention. So you can close your videos. Anyways, मैं ये कह रहा था आपसे कि ड्रामा को पहले इस रूप में you need to understand this way कि ड्रामे की जो टेक्निकलिटीज हैं. आई विल बी गिविंग यू सम keywords. If you have a pen and pencil ready, a pen and a paper ready, you can note down those keywords, right? के ड्रामे से रिलेटेड टेक्निकल वर्ड्स, जो कि हम लोग लिटरेचर में जिसको कहते हैं लिटरेरी टर्म्स, राइट? यू नो, so I will be giving you a certain keywords, a certain literary terms that are associated with drama, and that you can search anywhere on the internet through a good source, right? मेरी नजर में there is a good source called Encyclopedia Britannica. It is available online, right? And it is a good and a very reliable source. So you can ask Encyclopedia Britannica about all these terminologies which I'll be putting in front of you. So when we begin thinking about drama, and since we are concerned with British drama, which is a part of the larger tradition, what we call European drama, so it is very important for us to look at the origin, the beginning of European drama, at least. अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड हैं और बहुत बढ़िया और बहुत मेहनती स्टूडेंट हैं, तो you can go for the beginning of drama in the international context, and that way you can find lot of historical references with regard to what you can say, Indian drama, because Indian drama is also a part of the ancient tradition of drama. Chinese drama is also a part of the ancient tradition of drama. And just to give you an information that basically drama had its origin in Egypt. Basically, drama had its origin in Egypt, right? So you can even go back to and refer back to Egyptian drama. But as I said, ये उनके लिए है जो बहुत ज्यादा रिसर्च ओरिएंटेड हैं और बहुत ज्यादा नॉलेज ओरिएंटेड हैं. बट जो इतना नहीं करना चाहते, उन्हें इतना तो करना ही पड़ेगा, जो कि मिनिमम है वो ये, दैट इज दैट दे हैव टू सर्च फॉर द यूरोपियन रूट्स ऑफ ब्रिटिश ड्रामा. बिकॉज डू रिमेंबर that when we are studying British drama, which was a part of England, you know, so ultimately the British drama had its roots in European drama. The large tradition of European drama. And in this regard, I would like to take you back to Grecian times, the Grecian drama. So it is better if you want to understand all those nuances in a very well manner, in a very well organized and in a very, what you can say, a sequential manner. तो आपको शुरुआत करनी होगी. You need to start with Grecian dramas, Grecian tragedies, Grecian comedies. I mean, I'm talking about those plays that were there in the before Christ period in the great Grecian civilization, right? And hope you should understand. अच्छा, अब इन सब चीजों पे ध्यान मत दीजिए. अगर आप मेरी बात सुन रही हैं सुंबुल, तो काफी है उतना. छोड़ दीजिए प्रीति को, प्रीति का मन है, रहने दीजिए. लेट अस कंसंट्रेट, राइट? तो मैं ये अर्ज कर रहा था कि ग्रीशियन ड्रामा से हमारे यूरोपियन ड्रामा के रूट्स जुड़े हुए हैं. And whatever modern European drama we have, Preeti, वैसे you should accept the request of so many people requesting you to close your video. So Grecian drama से European drama के roots जुड़े हुए हैं. Every modern European drama, be it Russian drama, be it French drama, be it Norwegian drama, जिसका Henrik Ibsen बहुत बड़ा writer, I don't know how many of you know, have heard about him, right? So you should look at the roots. And the roots of European drama, I repeat once again for the last time, is that it is with the Grecian drama, right? So look at the Grecian tragedies and look at the Grecian comedies. Try to know a few Grecian writers, I mean dramatists and comedy writers as well as tragedy writers that belong to the great Grecian civilization, जहां से ड्रामे की उत्पत्ति होती है, origin of drama, at least European drama. This is what I mean to say, right? Another thing is, when I am telling you to refer to the history of Grecian drama to know the roots of English drama, I would also request you to add one more thing, that is, you should refer to one specific theorist. And who is that? That specific theorist is none other than Aristotle. दोस्तों, मैं आपको बताऊं कि ये बड़ा प्रॉब्लमेटिक इंसान है ना? And whatever knowledge and learning we have, modern knowledge, modern learning we have, somewhere, somehow you will find the interference of this man, right? So he is one unique phenomenon. अंजलि छोड़िए, रहने दीजिए, आप ध्यान दीजिए हम लोगों की तरफ. So he is one unique phenomenon. I mean, I'm talking about Aristotle. And that he was a philosopher, that he was a thinker, that he was the shagird of, he was the disciple of that great philosopher named Plato, right? Plato, जिसने रिपब्लिक लिखी, प्लेटो जिसने रिपब्लिक में, अपनी आइडियल रिपब्लिक में, प्लेटो had said के the ideal republic of Plato had no place for poets and liars and lovers, etc. So that Plato, who was having a very different kind of, I'm not saying negative, a very alternate, a very different kind of a view of literature, right? And he said that in the ideal republic of Plato, there is no place for lovers, poets, and liars, right? So he did not see literature in a good way. He said that literature is something which is removed from reality. Literature has nothing to do with reality. And on the basis of all those teachings, preachings of Plato, a lot of people think and believe that literature is a lie, which actually it is not. And which actually his own disciple, Aristotle, proved by writing a particular book. I hope you know the name of the book. The book is titled Poetics. You know?
Poetics.
Right. So you should refer to that book. यहां मैं लाना चाहता था, पोएटिक्स पे मैं लाना चाहता था. क्योंकि एक बात मेरी गौर से सुन लीजिए, अगर आप वाकई लिटरेचर के स्टूडेंट होना चाहते हैं, खाली डिग्री के लिए पढ़ रहे हैं, दैट इज और बात, मुझे कोई हक नहीं है आप पे कमेंट करने का. बट इफ यू रियली वांट टू बी अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ लिटरेचर, दिस इज द होली बुक ऑफ लिटरेचर. You cannot do anything, you cannot understand literature if you are not good in understanding poetics. That very famous holy treatise written in the BC period, written in the great Grecian civilization by Aristotle. Of course, Aristotle wrote several other treatises. He wrote ethics, he wrote politics, what not. As I said that Aristotle का interference तो we feel in the field of biology and even medical sciences also, modern medical sciences में. But anyways, that is not our area. So let us be precise. Poetics is the guidebook. And my dear friends, poetics is the guidebook for European drama. 70 मरतबा तो बोल चुके हैं अनुष्का. तो ये जो किताब है ये गाइड बुक है ड्रामे की. किसी ने सुन लिया हो किताब का नाम तो चैट बॉक्स में लिख दीजिए. सो पोएटिक्स इज द गाइड बुक जो शायरी को डिफाइन करती है, बिकॉज पोएट्री वाज देयर एट दैट टाइम, राइट. जो ड्रामे को डिफाइन करती है, बिकॉज ड्रामा वाज देयर एट दैट टाइम. जो कॉमेडी को डिफाइन करती है, जो ट्रेजेडी को डिफाइन करती है, जो एपिक को, बिकॉज एपिक वाज देयर एट दैट टाइम, जो लिरिक को डिफाइन करती है, बिकॉज लिरिक वाज देयर एट दैट टाइम. Yes, of course, there are several other forms of literature that were not present during the time of Aristotle. So that poetics does not define about those forms. For example, poetics do not talk about sonnet, which is a very famous form of literature, poetry, right? Aristotle do not talk about fiction. Novel, right? Because novel was not there in the before Christ period. So of course he does not talk about these things, but he certainly talks about poetry. He certainly talks about drama. He certainly talks about tragedy, comedy. He certainly talks about farce, low comedy. He certainly talks about melodrama, which is a lower kind of tragedy, right? He certainly talks about epic and lyric, etc., etc. So this is my suggestion to you and it is a very small little book. When it is translated by Humphrey House into English, it is not more, it is less than 100 pages of मेरी हथेली के size का होगा लंबा इतना सा बस. And it is less than 100 pages, and it is easily available on the net. The free copy, the soft copy is available. So you can, अगर आपको अच्छे रीडर हैं तो आप 1 घंटे 2 घंटे 3 घंटे में बहुत आराम से उसको पढ़ सकते हैं. But of course, सिर्फ पढ़ना मकसद नहीं है. You need to understand the approach which Aristotle presents in that book. Anyways, अब मैं jump करता हूं another tradition of European drama, and that is Latin drama. That is Roman drama. Latin drama at the time of the great Roman Empire. And that was thoda sa a bit in the BC period and in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd and 4th century AD also, if you are aware about the European history, right? So Roman drama also has the roots of modern European drama. So you have to refer to this also, right? Then after this, you have to, or you can, balki you should rather read and try to understand the Spanish and Italian tradition of drama before coming to the tradition of British drama, which is our area, which is our concern. I repeat, Grecian drama with reference to Aristotle's Poetics also, and then Roman drama, right? And then the tradition of drama in Spain and the tradition of drama in Italy, and then coming to the British drama. Why I'm saying so is because of the reason that English drama, as I said, had its roots in the Grecian and Roman drama, and it also had influence of, or rather it was influenced by, Spanish and Italian drama also. More specifically, मैं थोड़ा सा jump कर रहा हूं, लेकिन मैं आपसे ये अर्ज करूं कि when English drama began in the late medieval period, मैं बताऊंगा थोड़ी देर बाद आपको exact dates भी. So when English drama began in the late medieval period, I once again tell you that when I'm saying medieval period, I'm not talking about the aspect of medieval Indian history. I'm talking about medieval history of the world. There is a difference between the medieval history of the world and there is a difference between the age of the medieval history concept here in India. Because यहाँ पे इंडिया में 16th 17th century जो मुगलों का दौर है उसको भी medieval India कहते हैं, जबकि 16th 17th century यूरोपियन हिस्ट्री में post Renaissance modern Europe है वो, right? I hope you have heard about Renaissance. So Renaissance is the demarcation. Renaissance is, I hope you have heard about Punarjagran, है ना, that happened in Italy, and then it is spread to the rest of the countries of Europe. So that Renaissance, That happened in the 14th and 15th century Italy, and that reached to England in the 16th century. That is a cut-off kind of a thing in European history, because post-Renaissance we have a new Europe, the modern Europe. Before Renaissance, we had the medieval times of Europe, and we had the old times of the ancient times of Europe, right? So what I wanted to tell you, my dear friends, कि मैं इटालियन और स्पेनिश ड्रामा क्यों कह रहा हूँ. मैं इटालियन और स्पेनिश ड्रामा इसलिए कह रहा हूँ क्योंकि when English drama in the late Middle Ages, in the late 15th century, when English drama began, it was influenced by the tradition of drama in Spain. It was also influenced by the tradition of drama in Italy, because these two countries were leading the way with reference to Renaissance, especially khas karke Italy. I hope if you are really working on the history of English literature, you will find out that Italian literature, specifically the Renaissance Italian literature, had a great impact upon English literature in the post-Renaissance times. When we talk about sonnet, when we talk about ode, when we talk about revenge plays, when we talk about tragedies, when we talk about several other when we talk about romances, right? I mean romance writings, which is a form of drama literature. So Italian literature had always had a very great impact upon English literature. So अब मैं जरा सा आगे बढ़ूं, ये बात मैंने आपसे अर्ज कर दी कि आपको रूट्स पढ़ना है, ब्रिटिश ड्रामे का रूट्स समझना है, तो ये चारों पे आपको काम करना होगा, ग्रीशियन, रोमन, स्पेनिश और इटालियन. नाउ एज आई प्रॉमिस टू यू कि आई विल बी इंट्रोड्यूसिंग दोस टर्म्स, key terms, what we in literature called as literary terms that are associated with the study of drama. जिन की टर्म्स को जाने बगैर आप ड्रामे की एक प्रॉपर स्टडी नहीं कर सकते हैं. So I begin with requesting you, suggesting you that first of all you should try to understand the difference between prose, poetry and drama. I repeat it once again, and I say this with all responsibility कि literature के केवल दो रूप, गद और पद, prose और poetry, only the two forms of literature नहीं होता है. Drama is a separate form of literature. You cannot put drama either in the category of prose or in the category of poetry. Why I am saying so? इसका आंसर आपको तब मिलेगा जब आप ग्रीशियन और रोमन रूट्स को पढ़ेंगे. जब आप ग्रीशियन और रोमन रूट्स को पढ़ेंगे तो यू विल फाइंड आउट दैट इन एरिस्टोटल्स पोएटिक्स, व्हेन एरिस्टोटल वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट द टाइप्स ऑफ पोएट्री, तो उसने पहली टाइप ऑफ पोएट्री जिसको सबसे टॉप पे उसने रखा वो था महाकाव्यास, एपिक्स. एंड द सेकंड मोस्ट important and pertinent type of poetry which Aristotle talks in poetics is tragedy. You know, and tragedy is a form of drama. So that is why for Grecian drama, drama was written in verse. For quite a long time, drama was written using the form of poetry. Verse drama. Dramas were written in verse. It was only in the it was only in the Renaissance times that the writers, including the writers of England also, started experimenting and using prose also as the medium of drama. So what I mean to say is, my dear friend, Aparna, don't take care of all these things. Take care of what you are listening to us. So I'm saying prose और पोएट्री गद्य के रूप में लिखा जाए या पद के रूप में लिखा जाए, वर्स की फॉर्म में लिखा जाए या प्रोज की फॉर्म में लिखा जाए, these two are only the mediums of drama. A drama can be written either in a verse form or the drama can be written either in a poetic prose form. Listen to me very carefully. The third thing is that even we can find a mix of the two mediums. In Shakespeare, my dear friends, you will find that Shakespeare has used in his plays verse also and prose also. When we come to George Bernard Shaw, who was a 19th century, late 19th century and early 20th century writer, right? The Victorian and modern both. So when we come to Bernard Shaw, drama was purely written in prose. I'm talking about the British drama. But when you look at the English drama of the 14th, 15th, and 16th centuries, right? Drama was written in verse, and there was here and there was a mix of prose. Another thing is that blank verse was used. अगर आप अंग्रेजी ड्रामे का इतिहास पढ़ेंगे, and if you look at that very popular period of English drama, which has been regarded as the golden period of English drama, the Elizabethan age, I hope you know, right? So in that particular age, that in that particular Elizabethan age ड्रामा में जो सबसे ज्यादा पोएट्री का फॉर्म यूज किया गया, that was blank verse. I hope you know, those who are working on poetry, they know that metrical verses, blank verses, and free verses are the three types of verses, right? Anyway, I move on. So I was saying, okay, you should begin with this concept. That is, you should try to understand, okay, there is a difference between prose, poetry, and drama. These are three separate forms. Prose and poetry can only be a medium used in drama. And the third thing I said is that there can be a mixing of the two. I mean, one particular play can also have a mixing of some prosaic language and as well as some versified language. I move on to another thing, that you should now work on the types of drama. And I am introducing just 3-4 major types. जैसे all of us know that drama का दो major type है ना? Into two main parts we divide the drama. What is this? Tragedy और comedy. ठीक है, तो अब जाहिर है कि ट्रेजेडी और कॉमेडी पे आपको वर्क करना होगा, क्योंकि जो ड्रामे आपके सिलेबस में प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है, आई होप देयर आर 9 प्लेज इन द सिलेबस, सो यू शुड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, यू शुड ट्राई टू कैटेगराइज दीज प्लेज either as a tragedy or as a comedy, right? So you have to analyze these plays. You should, अगर आपको ये पता नहीं होगा कि भाई ड्रामा ट्रेजेडी की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या होती हैं और कॉमेडी की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या होती हैं, तो आप किसी ड्रामे को ट्रेजेडी और कॉमेडी डिक्लेयर करने की स्थिति में नहीं होंगे. सो यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड दिस. देन बट उसके बाद मैं और आगे बढ़ूं. I am introducing two more forms of drama. One is called melodrama, which is a lower form of, a degraded form of tragedy, right? And the other is farce, 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 which is a lower form of comedy. तो अब देखिए चार हो गए, ट्रेजेडी, उसका एक डिग्रेडेड या लोअर फॉर्म मेलोड्रामा, कॉमेडी, और उसका एक लोअर फॉर्म farce, Farce. Now, my dear friends, I am adding two more here. Listen to me very carefully. One is tragic comedy. मैं इसकी स्पेलिंग कर दे रहा हूं. Let me spell it out for you. Tragic comedy is Tragicomedy. Tragic comedy. Now you can guess from the name itself that it must have been a mixing of the two. Means the tragic and the comic together. And Shakespeare was considered as a master of this vidha, as a master of this particular form. Balki it is for this particular thing that Shakespeare did in his times. By his contemporaries, he was not looked in a good way. He was basically despised because उसने क्या किया, उसने ड्रामा वर्स में लिखा जा रहा था, शेक्सपियर ने प्रोज यूज करना शुरू कर दिया. ड्रामा, ट्रेजेडी और कॉमेडी अलग अलग दो फॉर्म्स मेंटेन की जा रही थी. शेक्सपियर ने एक नया एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन शुरू कर दिया जब उसने ट्रेजिक प्लेज में कॉमिक सीन्स मिलाने शुरू कर दिए और कॉमिक प्लेज में ट्रेजिक सीन्स डालने शुरू कर दिए. सो दिस इज व्हाट शेक्सपियर डिड, राइट? सो ट्रेजिक कॉमेडी इज द फिफ्थ फॉर्म जो मैंने इंट्रोड्यूस कर दी. अब ये आपके जो 9 ड्रामे हैं, इनमें से कोई ना कोई ट्रेजिक कॉमेडी भी होगा. I am introducing the last form, poetic plays, what we also call poetic drama. यानी वही जो पुराने जमानों में वर्स की फॉर्म्स में ड्रामे लिखे जाते थे, ग्रीशियन लिटरेचर में, रोमन लिटरेचर में, and for quite a long time during the medieval period, even in the British literature also, in the English also. लेकिन बाद में आहिस्ता आहिस्ता प्रोज का चलन ज्यादा बढ़ गया ड्रामों में, right? The neoclassical writers of the 18th century attempted to revive use of verse in dramas. We will talk about this also, the 18th century playwrights. right? And it was in the 20th century. I'm talking about English drama once again, mind this. So in the 20th century, it was T.S. Eliot who tried once again to revive the poetic drama. So that is why I am including this poetic drama also as a very, very important type of drama. It is there. Eliot is there in your syllabus. You may have to study Eliot also.
Murder in
Is
Cathedral.
yeah, right. So that's why I'm introducing this. So melodrama, आपका जो 9 ड्रामे हैं उसमें आपको melodramatic forms भी मिल जाएंगी. Tragedy you have, comedies you have, right? And yes, tragic comedy you have in your syllabus. All those 9 plays में कोई ना कोई एक आपको tragic comedy भी आपको मिल जाएगा. So with this I
Mur-
stop. प्लीज अलका थोड़ा सा सब्र करें. मैंने कहा है, अनाउंस किया था शुरू में कि आई विल गिव अ चांस टू आस्क और टू कमेंट और टू क्लैरिफाई एट द एंड ऑफ द क्लास. सो प्लीज बियर विथ मी. मैं ये अर्ज कर रहा था कि अब मैं यहाँ ये टाइप्स वाला रोक रहा हूँ वैसा. एक आध दो और टाइप्स मैं इंट्रोड्यूस करूंगा आफ्टर सम टाइम. बट एज आई सेड, if you have pen and paper ready, you can note down those areas, those terminologies that you should try to know and try to have an understanding to understand the drama in a proper way. Plot is a very important aspect of drama. I hope you understand. Because आने वाला जो BEG3 होगा, उस BEG3 में you have to study novel. And a novel also contains plot. Right? जब कभी आप कोई शॉर्ट स्टोरी पढ़ते होंगे, कहानियां, लघु कथाएं, right? So a short story, a लघु कथा also has plot. Even a poetic story, जैसे एपिक, महाकाव्यास जो है वो क्या है? कहानियां हैं कविता की फॉर्म में, ठीक है? या और भी there are ballads also in poetry that are stories in the form of poetry, right? All our Mahabharat and Ramayana and Milton's Paradise Lost or Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, they are all Mahakavyas, right? So you should try to understand कि प्लॉट स्ट्रक्चर कितना महत्वपूर्ण है. At this juncture, I would like to introduce one book. Although it's a very childish book, लेकिन ये चाइल्डिश बुक उन लोगों के लिए है जिनका लिटरेचर का बैकग्राउंड है, जिनका लिटरेचर का, दोज हु आर नॉट हैविंग अ लिटरेचर बैकग्राउंड, उनके लिए दिस इज नॉट अ चाइल्डिश बुक. अ बुक जिसका नाम है, मैं बल्कि कोशिश करता हूं कि मैं चैट बॉक्स में लिख भी दूं, अ बुक विच इज कॉल्ड द ग्लोसरी ऑफ लिटरेरी टर्म्स, राइट? द ग्लोसरी ऑफ लिटरेरी टर्म्स, राइट? It is by M.H. Abrams. Glossary of Literary Terms. अगर दा ना भी हो, मैंने गलती से लगा दिया हो. Glossary of Literary Terms is a very famous book that can give you inputs of all literary devices, all literary techniques, all literary terminologies. It can make you aware about all these things, all literary forms, types of literature, and even periods of English literature. है ना, the historical periods of English literature. So it's a very good reference book, right? So plot मैंने आपसे अर्ज कर दिया. The next thing is character. With character, I would like to add two more terms along with character. One is called characterization, and the other is called the art of characterization, right? So this is also a very important aspect. I was trying to tell you, my dear friends, that when you will study a novel, you will get a plot there also. When you study a drama, you get a plot there also. But a plot of a drama and a plot of a novel is different. और आपको एक लिटरेचर के स्टूडेंट के नाते ये समझना होगा, ये फाइनर नुआंसेस जो हैं डिफरेंस के, कि प्लॉट स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ नॉवेल और प्लॉट स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ड्रामा कैसे मुख्तलिफ होता है. यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. Similarly, the second thing which I have told you right now is character or characterization or art of characterization. This is once again you can find in novel also, you can find in a short story also, and sometimes even in a poem also. For example, epic, or for example, ballad, as I said earlier. So even this character or characterization or art of characterization ड्रामे में जो डेलिनिएशन ऑफ कैरेक्टर करता है लेखक and the delineation of character done by the novelist in a novel will be certainly different. The technical the technical approach will be very different, right? So you need to understand as a student, because आपको लिखना होगा एग्जाम में इन सारे आंसर्स पे. As a student, you need to understand कि how plot and how characterization or character or art of characterization is important for a drama, for a novel, for example. Another thing which is very important with reference to drama is, which is not as such very important with reference to novel, is dialogues. You cannot imagine a play without a dialogue. So it is a very prominent technical aspect. Associated with dialogue are two more terminologies I'm introducing here itself. One is called as aside. मैं लिख दे रहा हूं चैट बॉक्स में, वेट अ मिनट प्लीज. मैं चैट बॉक्स में लिख दे रहा हूं. डायलॉग के साथ साथ डायलॉग से ही जुड़ी हुई एक और टर्मिनोलॉजी है विच इज कॉल्ड असाइड, और एक और टर्मिनोलॉजी है सॉलिलोक्वी, राइट? सो दीज टू टर्मिनोलॉजीज. सो डायलॉग एंड अलोंग विद डायलॉग असाइड किसको कहते हैं? जिसमें कैरेक्टर जो है धीरे से बोलता है, आहिस्ता से, बहुत आहिस्ता से. और सॉलिलोक्वी किसको कहते हैं? जिसमें वो लाउड बोलता है लेकिन स्टेज पे अकेला होता है. सो ट्राई टू नो ऑल दीज थिंग्स. Another thing I would like to add, another two very technical, basic technical aspects that I would like to add is this. I'm doing this on your chat box. Act and scene. So dramas are divided into acts. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, Act 5. Shakespeare used to write his plays in 5 acts. Bernard Shaw used to write his plays. समय बदल गया, विक्टोरियन टाइम्स आ गया, 19th सेंचुरी आ गया, अब समय इतना नहीं रहा कि 5 एक्ट के ड्रामे लिखे जाए. So Shaw used to write dramas in 3 acts, 2 acts, right? And then in the modern times, in the 20th century, we had the concept of एक अंकी drama, that is 1 act plays. अंक जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं अंक, उसको अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं एक्ट. सो एक्ट, एंड देन ईच एक्ट इज डिवाइडेड इनटू दृश्यास. scene 1 act 1, scene 2 act 1, scene 3 act 1, and then the act changes. Act 2 scene 1, act 2 scene 2, act 2 scene 3, and then the act changes. Act 3 scene 1, act 3 scene 2, likewise, right? So this is very important to understand. This division is very important to understand. Act and scene, right? Then I am using three Aristotelian terms here, right? Exposition, which is also called as rising action, right? You need to understand it is a very important part of drama. The other is climax, right? And the other is denouement. I'm using an Aristotelian term once again, right? Which is called denouement. It is written denouement. It is called denouement, which is also referred as the falling action, right? So I have introduced 3, and these are, sorry, मैंने उसको गलत लिखा है. falling action पढ़िएगा उसको, FALLING, falling action, right? So look here, what I have done is 3 very basic division के. ड्रामा जो है जब वो शुरू होता है तो उसका इंट्रोडक्शन का पार्ट होता है, उसको एरिस्टोटल कहता है एक्सपोजिशन, राइजिंग एक्शन. Then it reaches to its climax, and then the fall starts, the denouement, the solution starts happening, right? The falling action starts happening. So you need to study these 3 terminologies. These are very important technical terms that you need to understand. I move on, and I use a particular term once again, an Aristotelian term, the concept of catharsis. It is very important to understand when you are reading a tragedy, right? The concept of hamartia, right? These are all Aristotelian concepts with reference to understanding tragedy, right? Then there is something which Aristotle very specifically calls. देखिए यही वो चीज है जो ड्रामा को बाकी लिटरेचर के फॉर्म से अलग करती है. This is what it is. Look here. This is the thing which differentiates drama from all other forms of literature. क्योंकि ड्रामा जो है, अगर आप किसी थिएटर वाले से कहिएगा ना कि ड्रामा लिटरेचर का टाइप है, तो वो गुस्सा हो जाएगा. बिकॉज थिएटर वाले ड्रामा को थिएटर मानते हैं, लिटरेचर नहीं मानते हैं. और किसी लिटरेचर वाले से कहिएगा ना कि ड्रामा जो है वो थिएटर का टाइप है, तो लिटरेचर वाला जैसे कि हम, वो गुस्सा हो जाएगा. But the middle line is that drama is theater also and drama is literature also. There are certain aspects of drama which are purely literary, but there are a few aspects in drama that are purely theatrical. So for example ड्रामे का एक सेट होगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ड्रामा निर्देशित किया जाएगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ड्रामा प्रदर्शित किया जाएगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ड्रामा खेला जाएगा. दैट इज वाई अ ड्रामा इज कॉल्ड एज अ प्ले. So that's why Aristotle has added this particular characteristic to drama कि वो उसमें दर्शनीयता होनी चाहिए. अगर उसमें दर्शनीयता, spectacle is not there, so that's not a good drama, right? Then there is a concept called tragic hero, right? This is again Aristotle, the concept of tragic hero. You need to read this also if you want to understand the concept, this concept with reference to Shakespearean dramas and also with reference to the very first drama that we are going to study, that is Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe, and even by Shakespeare का जो ड्रामा हमारे सिलेबस में है. So we need to understand this concept, tragic hero. I hope and I believe that you will work on upon all these things, right? The concept of unities, right? The concept of unities, three unities, so to be precise. तो थ्री यूनिटीज का एक कॉन्सेप्ट है. हालांकि उस पर पढ़िएगा तो पता चलेगा कि थ्री यूनिटीज का कॉन्सेप्ट एज सच नहीं है. अरिस्टोटल ने सिर्फ एक यूनिटी के कॉन्सेप्ट पे बात की है. बट यस, don't try to correct me, Mr. SV. Whatever I have written is written. So, अगर आपको बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रहा तो आप लीव कर सकते हैं. So what I was telling is कि unities is a very important concept. Why I'm saying this is because every drama is located in time. Every drama is located with reference to place. And every drama has some action. Yes. So tragic action, let me include this also. Tragic action. This is another Aristotelian concept you need to understand, right? Tragic action, right? Another Aristotelian concept that you need to understand is tragic appeal, right? These are all concepts that Aristotle talks about with reference to the characteristics of drama, right? Anyways, तो मैं ये अर्ज कर रहा था आपसे कि the concept of unities is a very important concept in which we refer to the unity of time, number one, unity of place, number two, and unity of action, number three. So these are called together in one phrase as three unities. If you refer to that M.H. Abrams wala book that I have told you just now, you will get the entry there. Who is this Mr. Pinpoint? Please, please do not do this. So let us move on to some another thing. Let me continue with introducing these terminologies. Another very important aspect that when we study drama and we should be careful about is dramatic irony, right? There is something like irony, and there is a specific form, a specific literary term which is associated with drama referred as dramatic irony. So that you need to understand. Now, at this juncture, मैं सिर्फ इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहा हूं a concept called anti-play. Some people call it anti also, right? And I am also introducing a concept called anti-hero. Some people call it anti-hero also, right? So these are also the concepts that you need to take care of. Then I am also introducing one more form or one more type of drama, closure drama. एक मिनट थोड़ा टाइम दीजिए. तो अनदर फॉर्म जो मैं चाहूंगा कि आप इस पे काम करें, आप इस पे उसको जानने की कोशिश करें. आई एम इंट्रोड्यूसिंग थ्री कॉन्सेप्ट्स, थ्री वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ द अर्ली ब्रिटिश ड्रामा. When British drama in the in the medieval times took its shape, these three concepts, it is there: miracle plays, then the other is morality plays, right? And the other is mystery plays, right? These are three very important early forms of British drama that we find in the late 14th century and that we also find in the 15th century. So when the British drama took its shape in the 16th century in a much proper way, and when what I mean to say is that when the Elizabethan drama, जिसको कि हम लोग ड्रामे का we call it the golden period of British drama, the Elizabethan age, the 16th century has been regarded as the golden period of English drama. So when English drama took its very proper and a very encompassing shape during the Elizabethan times, these three plays were already there. They were in practice. They were being written in the late medieval times, in the late 14th and 15th centuries, right? So you need to work upon this. After these three plays and before the proper beginning of English drama, we have this interludes, right? Let me write it. Interludes. तो मैं कहने ये चाह रहा हूं कि अंग्रेजी ड्रामा, द ब्रिटिश ड्रामा स्टार्टेड विथ मिरेकल, मोरालिटी एंड मिस्ट्री प्लेस and it moved on to the interludes and then it came to the proper drama. I'll be introducing this when I will try to touch the history part of British drama. I'll be trying to do this, right? Then at this juncture, my dear friends, I'm introducing a few more types of drama, right? Naturalistic drama is one. Give me a few seconds only. Yeah, naturalistic drama. Yeah, this is another form you can say, right? Then another is romantic drama. I hope you can understand. Romantic drama, जैसे romantic poetry, जैसे romantic novel, वैसे ही romantic drama. Then we can also have the theater of absurd. It is there in your syllabus. One particular theater of absurd is there in your syllabus. तो टाइम मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा आई डोंट नो, सो दैट इज वाई मैं ये सब बातें टच करता जा रहा हूं कम से कम. द थिएटर ऑफ absurd. एक मिनट, somebody is continuously disturbing. Is it right? The theater of absurd. ये बहुत ही नया है. This is a 20th century phenomena in English theater, in English, in British, बल्कि in European theater we can say, right? So the theater of absurd. Then another very important concept which was there during the time of Shakespeare also, and Shakespeare also wrote these kind of plays called as chronicle plays. They were also called as history plays, right? So even you can find Shakespeare writing a lot of history plays. For example, शेक्सपियर का वो जो सब ड्रामा है, रोमियो एंड जूलियट, और उसके बाद जूलियस सीजर, और उसके बाद देयर आर सेवरल अदर, कोरियोलेनस, राइट? So they are all basically come in the category of history plays or chronicle plays, right? So this is again very important type of drama. And then Shakespeare also mastered this particular art जो अब मैं लिख रहा हूँ, called as problem plays. For example, शेक्सपियर के वो ड्रामे which we called as measure for measure or every man in his, इस तरह के जो ड्रामे हैं देखिएगा आप, so they come in the category of problem plays, right? Now if we move on to introducing some more literary terms, ये तो कुछ types बीच में मैंने जिक्र कर दिए आपसे. Now I am going back once again to introducing some more literary terms. One is called as let me write it here. Sorry, lucky I have introduced it aside. I have introduced satire or satirical drama, you know. So satire. When you study, अगर आप history of English drama, if you study, you will find out that in the late 17th century and in the whole of the 18th century, most of the English plays written in England, I mean, they were basically somewhere they based on satire. They were satirical plays. I'll be telling you the names of those writers who wrote satirical plays in English during the 17th and 18th century. हम बताएंगे आपको. Then another type is, or another format is, another concept rather, is a concept called comic relief, right? ये एक बहुत यूनिक सा कॉन्सेप्ट है which Shakespeare basically introduced or has the credit of introducing. All right, it is here, comic relief, right? It's a concept used by Shakespeare in his tragedies, and it was used basically just to uh, जो सिचुएशन बहुत ड्रामेटिक है, टेंस है, all the characters are facing a lot of problems, the situation is very grim, and even the audience is also in a very grim situation, they are feeling sad because a tragedy is happening in front of them, right? So just to give some relief to the audience, get rid of those tense moments, Shakespeare, what he does is that he introduces one or two comic scenes in his plays, which was basically a violation of the classical law of Aristotelian drama. But this is what Aristotle actually did, right? So comic relief is an important concept. Then let me introduce one with a few more types, right? Revenge tragedy. रिवेंज ट्रेजेडी ये 16th सेंचुरी में बहुत पॉपुलर हुआ. इट बिकेम वेरी पॉपुलर in the 16th century Elizabethan drama, British drama, and writers were under the effect of Seneca. I mean, Seneca was a very great Roman writer, है ना, writing in Latin, and the British writers of the 16th century, including William Shakespeare, they were highly influenced and highly inspired by the dramas of Seneca, right? And Seneca was very famous for writing these kinds of very violent revenge dramas. So, it was copied and by British writers. So revenge tragedy is one very important form. Senecan tragedy, जिसमें a lot of violence हो, melodrama हो, Senecan tragedy, ठीक है? ये भी मैं लिख रहा हूँ. You can also take a note of this, Senecan tragedy. Then another very important type of English drama is comedy of manners. This is this is associated with the 18th century, 17th and 18th century English drama, comedy of manners. Another very important form of English drama is comedy of humors, right? This is associated with a very famous playwright, Ben Jonson, of Shakespearean times itself, of 16th century, and it was Ben Jonson who introduced this particular format, comedy of humors, right? Then I'm writing down one very famous format of drama. Uh, this is not to impress you. This is Bernard Shaw is one of my favorite dramatists. So this particular form which I'm writing now is a form of drama that was made popular by Bernard Shaw. Drama of ideas. We can also call them propaganda plays also, right? They were called as propaganda plays also. So ड्रामा ऑफ आइडियाज. देन यस, जैसे मैंने वहां रोमांटिक प्लेज लिखा था, we can also have anti-romantic plays, and it is once again George Bernard Shaw who was a master of these plays, anti-romantic plays, right? So even you have Bernard Shaw also in your syllabus, in your course. So you have to look at all these concepts: drama of ideas, anti-romantic plays, right? There is a concept called black comedy. अगर आप फिल्में देखती हैं तो हिंदुस्तानी फिल्मों में एक बहुत बड़ा फिल्म मेकर है कुंदन शाह, राइट? हो सकता है आप लोगों ने नाम भी ना सुना हो, but he is a very beautiful maker of black comedies. Even we have Shyam Benegal also, and that last movie that I saw of Shyam Benegal as a black comedy was Weldon Abba. अगर आपने नाम सुना हो, it's a very famous dark comedy by या खोसला का घोसला by Anupam Kher is again a very famous dark comedy of Indian cinema, right? So black comedy or dark comedy is the same thing. So that is also a very important format. Then I am introducing one more. It is called domestic comedy. Yeah, domestic comedy. कुछ उल्टा पुल्टा लिखा रहा है तो माफ कर दीजिएगा, सुन लीजिएगा. Domestic comedies, right? And even we can also have domestic tragedies, right? Domestic comedies and domestic tragedy, both. Then Let me now move on to the history part. As I promised you that I'll be talking about the history part also. So let me now move on to the history part. And once again, I would like to begin by telling you, my dear friends, that in order to understand the British origin of drama, I mean English ड्रामे का origin जो late medieval times में होता है, late 14th 15th sorry 15th century में होता है, तो 14th सॉरी लेट 14th और पूरा 15th ये मिडिवल ड्रामा है, और 16th सेंचुरी से हमारा मॉडर्न इंग्लिश ड्रामा या पोस्ट रेनेसां ड्रामा जिसको मैंने कहा था, दैट बिगिंस, राइट? सो व्हाट आई वाज ट्राइंग टू टेल यू is के आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेड दिस के you need to understand the roots first, the origin of English drama in the late 15th century, 14th century, and the whole of 15th century. ये जो जिस ओरिजिन की मैं बात कर रहा हूं भाई, देखिए ऐसा है कि कोई चीज जो है सीधे जल्दी से आसमान से यूं करके टपक नहीं जाएगी, उसके पीछे उसकी पूरी पृष्ठभूमि होगी. So in order to understand the origin, the birth of English drama, you need to understand the prishtbhumi. You need to understand the background. And the background is there in the European drama. The background is there to understand the tradition of the larger tradition of European drama. I repeat it once again, as I said at the beginning of this class: Grecian, Roman, Spanish, and Italian. At least these four backgrounds have to be understood to understand the history of British drama, right? But बहरहाल हम लोगों के पास इतना समय नहीं है, मैं आइडिया ही दे सकता हूं. And as I said that I'm just trying to give you some suggestions, some counselings. I'm not going to teach you. I'm not even trying to teach you basically, right? So my dear friends, अगर मैं history, if I begin history of English drama, and if I try to give you some suggestions that how you should approach, how you should look at the history of British drama, I would like to request you to go to the history of medieval England.